Gather close to the fire. Let the night hush around you and listen. This is the tale of Fenn, born of ember and ash, whose heart once burned too wild to hold. In the old days, before the guild built its halls of light and learning, the flame within each being was born a gift and a test. Some let it consume them. Some learned to shape it. This is how one young elf learned to do the latter, and in doing so, became the first ember crafter. Fenn was not wicked, but he was quick to laugh, quick to work, and quicker still to rage when the world refused to bend to his will. He had been born in the rugged hill towns at the edge of the Ember Vale, where storms rolled like tempers across the stone. His father was a miner, hard, silent, carved by labor, and his mother mended what the storms broke. In their small house, anger was not a stranger. It sat at the table, drank from their cups, and left scorch marks no water could cool. When Fenn was small, he promised himself he'd be different. Yet, each year, as his fire grew, so did the moments that seared him. A broken tool, a careless word, a task gone wrong. His hands would shake, his voice would thunder, and heat would bloom in the air around him. He frightened the ones he loved most, and afterward, when the flame died down, he would feel only emptiness, like cooled ashes in a cold hearth. One evening, after a quarrel that cracked the very beams of their roof, Fenn fled into the wild hills. He wandered until exhaustion forced him to his knees beside a stream that reflected the stars. There, within the trembling water, he saw not his face, but a flicker, an ember, glowing deep inside his chest. It spoke without words. You are fireborn, but fire can warm or destroy. Learn which you are. When he lifted his eyes, he saw a distant light, a gathering of artisans across the valley, their tents shimmering like jewels. The festival of makers. Without knowing why, Fenn followed the glow.
Born from flame and stormy skies, an ember child with burning eyes, and roared where peace had been, lost and lonely far within. Mountains echoed, tempest cried, shadows flickered, hope denied. Every tear became a spark, lighting fires inside the dark. Breathe little fire, breathe and glow, shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin, light the world from the ember within.
The first tent he entered shimmered with heat and color. Furnaces roared. Molten glass dripped from iron pipes like honeyed sunlight. A master glass blower stood within the glow, her face calm as water. Do you seek to shape or to shatter? She asked. Fenn hesitated. I seek to stop breaking things. She smiled and handed him a blowpipe. Then you must first learn to breathe. At first, Fenn's efforts failed. His breath came fast, furious. The glowing bulb of glass would twist, thin, and collapse in upon itself. Each failure flared his frustration, and the molten air shimmered around him. The glass blower said nothing, only motioned for him to try again. Hours passed. Sweat burned in his eyes. His jaw ached from clenching. Finally, exhausted, he exhaled a long, trembling breath, not in anger, but in surrender. The molten globe swelled evenly, shimmering with amber light. For the first time, the glass held. In that still breath, Fenn understood. Anger was heat, but patience was air. And the two together could form something strong. Days turned to weeks. He practiced until he could shape glass into spheres, vases, and slender flutes of color. When at last the master told him he was ready, He created a lantern, its sides tinted crimson and gold, the hues of flame itself. He set a single candle within. The light flickered gently, casting ripples across the tent walls. As he watched it, the ember inside him whispered, "Stillness gives the fire form."
He found the glass where heat meets air, a craft of patience, soft and rare. Each breath a mirror, calm and deep, where anger learned at last to sleep. Molten colors, red and gold, whispered truths the silence told. Stillness sang a tender hymn. Hold the flame, don't let it win. Breathe little fire, breathe and blow. Shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin. Light the world from the ember within.
Fenn left the glass blower's tent with the lantern hanging at his side. He traveled deeper into the festival grounds, following the ringing of hammers. The sound echoed through his bones, a pulse, a heartbeat, a calling. He came upon a forge where sparks rose like fireflies. A blacksmith worked here, tall, strong, her skin freckled with burns. She lifted her gaze and said, "You carry light. Do you also carry weight?" Fenn frowned. "Plenty of it." "Then strike with me," she said, handing him a hammer. The metal on the anvil was red and alive. He swung hard, too hard, and the steel bent wrong. He cursed, heat flashing up his neck. The blacksmith only nodded. "Again!" This time, he tried to control his strength, but his rhythm faltered. The metal cooled before he was done. His temper surged until he heard the steady clang of the blacksmith beside him. A perfect pattern. Clang, hiss, clang, hiss. He began to match her pace. His heartbeat fell into step. The hammer rose and fell in rhythm, the sparks flying not in chaos, but in time. Each strike released something inside him. Not rage, but energy reshaped. His breath synced with the blows. He realized the forge was a drum, the hammer of a song, and he was learning to dance with the fire instead of fighting it. When their work was finished, the blacksmith quenched the steel in water. Steam curled upward, soft and white. She pulled free a blade, sleek, balanced, gleaming. Fenn traced his reflection along its edge. He saw the same fire in his eyes, but steadier now. He carved a symbol on the blade's hilt, a rising spiral, the mark of growth. The blacksmith said, "Remember, rhythm tempers rage." As he walked away, the ember inside him pulsed with a quiet pride. Creation is movement given meaning.
Hammer falling, sparks take flight, rhythm ringing through the night. Every strike a letting go, turning fury into flow. Through the rhythm, through the pain, steel became his soul's refrain. He found peace in the fire's glare, breathing strength into the air. Breathe little fire, breathe and blow. Shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin. Light the world from the ember within.
The festival faded behind him. Fenn followed a trail into the ember forest, where the world grew dim and still. He came upon a clearing where the elder sat by a pit of coals surrounded by earthen pots. She looked up with eyes cooled lava, dark but glowing within. "Have you come to burn or to bury?" she asked. "I don't know anymore," Fenn confessed. "I've breathed with glass and I moved with the forge, but some anger still clings to me, like smoke." The elder nodded. "Then let us see what the earth can teach you." She gave him a lump of clay. "Shape what you feel. Do not speak. Let your hands speak for you. He pressed the clay between his palms. It was cool at first, grounding. But as he worked, memory surfaced. His father's raised voice in frustration, the broken things, the long silences. Tears mixed with the clay, turning it slick and alive. He pounded it, folded it, rolled it again. Slowly, the tension in his chest eased. He formed a small bowl, simple, uneven, yet strong. The elder took it from him and buried it in the glowing pit. The fire that once burned you will now refine your work, she said. They waited through the night as the embers breathed under the soil. The dawn came. Fenn brushed away the ash. The bowl had hardened, darkened, but endured. He ran his fingers along its surface and felt the pulse of warmth within. The elder smiled. Fire reveals what is true. Fenn sat beside her, watching the sunrise spill over the forest. He felt the ember within his chest answer softly. Creation cools the storm.
Deep in forest, earth and flame, an elder whispered Fenn's true name. She gave him clay both cool and kind, said shape the anger you still find. Hands that trembled, heart that burned, slowly softened, slowly learned. Through the night beneath the din, he buried sorrow and rose again. Every heart must burn to learn, every soul must fall and turn. Through the smoke a shape appears, creation rising from the tears. Let the fire take what's true and make the world anew.
When Fenn returned to the guild halls, his step was lighter, his gaze clearer. He carried with him 3 creations: a glass lantern that shimmered with calm light, a forged blade marked by rhythm, a clay bowl fired by renewal. The other apprentices gathered to see. They asked what magic he had learned to quiet his fire. Fenn lifted the lantern and said, "First, I learned to breathe." He tapped the blade. "Then I learned to move." He held up the bowl. "Finally, I learned to let go." From that day, Fenn became the guild's keeper of creative flame. When the others' tempers rose, he guided them to shape, strike, or mold until their hearts grew steady. He taught that anger was not an enemy, but a signal, a call to make, to change, to birth something new. He said, when you create, the fire inside you finds its purpose. When you refuse to create, it burns you from within. His words spread beyond the guild. Makers of every kind began to see their crafts as acts of alchemy, transforming emotion into art. And the Ember Guild thrived, its fires no longer feared, but honored.
Breathe little fire, breathe and glow. Shape the storm and let it flow. Hold your heart and start again. We are all the ember within. We are all the ember within.
It is said that when the wind moves through the valley at night, you can still hear the faint rhythm of hammer on steel, the breath on molten glass, the crackle of clay in the pit. Those are Fenn's lessons carried on the air. He was never rid of anger, no one is, but he learned to greet it as a companion, to sit beside it and ask, "What will you help me make today?" So if your heart ever grows hot and restless, remember Fenn's path. Take a breath that steadies. Find a rhythm that grounds. Shape something that matters. For in the end, anger is only the raw material, and creativity is the hand that turns that ember into light.
Born from flame and stormy skies, an ember child with burning eyes, Anger roared where peace had been, lost and lonely fire within. Mountains echoed, tempest cried, shadows flickered, hope denied. Every tear became a spark, lighting fires inside the dark. Breathe little fire, breathe and glow, shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin, light the world from the ember within. He found the glass where heat meets air, a craft of patience, soft and rare. Each breath a mirror, calm and deep, where anger learned at last to sleep. Molten colors, red and gold, whispered truths the silence told. Stillness sang a tender hymn, hold the flame, don't let it win. Breathe little fire, breathe and glow, shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin, light the world from the ember within. Hammer falling, sparks take flight, rhythm ringing through the night. Every strike a letting go, turning fury into flow. Through the rhythm, through the pain, steel became his soul's refrain. He found peace in the fire's glare, breathing strength into the air. Breathe little fire, breathe and glow, shape the storm and let it flow. What was broken can begin, light the world from the ember within. Deep in forest, earth and flame, an elder whispered Fenn's true name. She gave him clay, both cool and kind, said shape the anger you still find. Hands that trembled, heart that burned, slowly softened, slowly learned. Through the night, beneath the din, he buried sorrow and rose again. Every heart must burn to learn, every soul must fall and turn. Through the smoke a shape appears, creation rising from the tears. Let the fire take what's true and make the world anew. Breathe little fire, breathe and glow, shape the storm and let it flow. Hold your heart and start again. We are all the ember within. We are all the ember within.